Hello, Skelevaderites, friends of Skelevader, curious creatures and folks who are just toy enthusiasts. Welcome to episode 35 of SKELE'S Weekly Weirdo. I'm really excited about today's particular choice. I'm always excited for these when they happen. But we've got some folks in the chat, so let's go ahead and see who's there. We've got Cobweb Collector, and he is guessing that today's weekly weirdo is Grizzlor, and I think that's a pretty darn good guess. We'll have to see. We also have JMac77 saying much love to Grizzlor, King Kong, and all fuzzy dudes everywhere. Yes, indeed. Much love to all the fuzzy weirdos out there. Today's weekly weirdo is definitely a fuzzy dude. And I'm just going to say fuzzy dudes. So we'll have to see who it is. And Ace, welcome to it. Well, you're getting ready for an event, so you might not see everything that's going on here. But have fun at your event. Be careful. Hope you're not watching this while driving. Okay. And Ray Black, great to see you, Ray, as always. And Eltenda, how's it going? Great to see you here. So today's weekly weirdo, I don't know if you could tell from my background, but this is a big hint. I'm going to give you all just a few more moments to make a few more guesses, because I'm sorry to say, Cobweb and JMac, it is not Grizzlor. But that's a really good guess based on my semi-cryptic thumbnail. So any other guesses while I have a sip of my tea? Any other guesses? All right, well, okay, so let's jump into it. I don't want to waste your time. Ace, freeze? Okay, that's another good guess too. I'm just gonna take another sip of my tea here. Now, this is a hint in a couple of different ways. These dudes have been a big part of my life for a very long time. Oh, good. Ace is saying Jack Frost. That's pretty close. And also Snow Miser. That's pretty close too. That's pretty good. And Cobweb is saying Chewy. All right, these are all really good choices. You're gonna be kicking yourselves when I reveal it though. And Cobweb also says Ewoks. And I'm gonna say again, look around here. What do you see behind me? Besides these toys, what do you see over here in this frame? All right, so I'm just gonna jump into it. I'm gonna stop teasing you all. I get a kick out of this. And in fact, I'm tricking you to a certain extent. One of these characters is in preparation for, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this character, in preparation for the upcoming Toy Frenzy episode this Thursday evening. This Toy Frenzy episode that's coming up is our first foray into a new era of Toy Frenzy. It's actually called The Frenzy. And we're going to not be talking about toys in particular, but we're going to be talking about the purpose of The Frenzy is to talk about larger themes. And in this particular episode we got coming up, we're going to be talking about stop motion animation. We're calling it Stop Motion Fever. So we hope that you all tune in this Thursday evening for The Frenzy. And Cobweb is saying, ooh, I know now. All right, well, you think you might know. I'm glad. But I'm going to start at the beginning, and that's where I'm really going to be leaning toward into territory that we might be covering in the Frenzy episode on Thursday evening. And I believe just looking back on my life in retrospect, I believe that my relationship to this particular version or this particular aesthetic, I don't know, style of character began with the Rankin Bass stop motion Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie when I was very little. Though there was some very intense competition for this kind of creature for me during that era, because we're talking about early 80s. I mean, 81, 82, 83. And I spent a lot of time with every season when the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer episode, stop motion animation short movie would come on the TV, it was like really an intensely pleasurable experience for me. And primarily because of the abominable snowman that's in that particular movie. Now, at the same exact time, however, I'm watching The Empire Strikes Back. Yes, Ace, you are hitting the nail on the head, but there are two more characters that are going to be revealed today. At the same time as that I'm watching and enjoying deeply Bumble from the Rankin Bass Christmas Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Christmas special, which I still to this day absolutely love this character. Whenever there's an ornament over here on our tree too, but I have a really hard time resisting this particular character when I see him out there. These two are PVC toys that I've found. This one I found this year actually at a Ross, part of a larger set of PVC figures for a pretty good price. So at the same time as watching the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie, I'm also watching The Empire Strikes Back. And who's the character in The Empire Strikes Back that may have had a similar effect on me? And that's the Wampa. And as a kid, I never had the Wampa action figure, but it was always like whenever every Christmas rolled around, I would circle that in the Sears catalog as something that I wanted to have. And I never got a chance to have the Wampa as a kid, but recently I was able to get one, and I'm going to show him in just a little bit. But so these are three. I'm talking about three parallel roads happening at the same time for me as a child of the late 70s, early 80s, and that is there's also. I'm just going to bring up an image here. Give me a moment. I forgot to add this to the slides, but I'm going to bring up this image here. Oh, you know what? It's not going to show me. That's okay. That's okay. The background is enough for me. I was going to show you an interior of this space. But there is my old pal, Harold. Now, do you know who I'm talking about when I say Harold? I've already lost some viewers of this. I'm taking too long, I think. So along with the Wampa, which I'm going to show you here, Wampa, absolutely an absolute treasure in my vintage toy collection. And I found him for a pretty good price. I love the Wampa. I did have when I was a kid, I did have one of the little die-cast metal versions of the Wampa, which I certainly wish I had today. But there's also this guy, Harold, from the Matterhorn ride at Disneyland. And I was so in love with this character and that particular ride that as a kid that when we had the chance to visit Disneyland the very first time when I was a kid, they were selling posters of Harold. I think they were just 11 by 14 posters, and I wanted one so bad, and my mom got me a poster of this guy. And as an adult collector, I've been able to find this on eBay, and I was able to get this Beanie Baby of Harold. These go back quite a few years as an adult collector for me. Got some of the earlier purchases, and then more recently, last year for Christmas, my wife got me this Funko Pop Matterhorn bobsled, Harold pop, which is really cool. Cobweb says Harold and Kumar Christmas. Is there a Christmas special of Harold and Kumar? That's hilarious. How many of you knew that the abominable snowman from the Disneyland Matterhorn ride, how many of you knew that his name was Harold? Chime into the chat. And Bobby's here. How's it going, Bobby? Bobby might be one of those people that knows that's currently watching. But yeah, Harold. So I've got, and I also got this last year, or this past year also, a McDonald's Happy Meal toy. They are featuring the characters from the more recent Mickey Mouse and Friends, I think is what it's called, sort of vintage style cartoon shorts, which are really actually quite good. And I'm highly critical of any contemporary renditions of these classic characters. And he's got the Harold and the Matterhorn behind him there as he's riding that carriage. Now I think this is a mixture of the ride at Disney World, because the style of this carriage, and the Matterhorn at Disneyland. I haven't been on the one where there's a Yeti. I forget what it's called. But there's even a hidden Mickey here on the side. I don't know if you can see that there. Hidden Mickey. Anyways, there's something about the white fur. There's something about the blue skin. For the Wampas, there's no blue skin, but it's definitely the white fur, and definitely influenced maybe by the Hammer film, The Abominable Snowman. And I think it's also called, it has an alternate title, The Beast or something like that. I can't remember. I know El Tenda will probably know the alternate title for that. Bobby might know too. But there's something about the white fur, something scary hiding in the snow. But with Bumble, we've got the white fur paired with the blue skin. As you can see, whenever we see artwork that illustrates the icy tundra or icy caverns or snowy landscapes, there's the white, but there's also the blue highlights or the blue shadows that really emphasize the depth of those spaces. And so the blue skin on the Yeti, if I tried doing a little research, honestly, to see where the blue skin of the Yeti originated, and I was unable to find any information. That doesn't mean it's not out there. I'm sure somebody has done a study on where the blue skin comes from. Did it originate in the Rankin Bass film? If so, where did they get the idea of giving the abominable snowman or Bumble the blue skin? Did it be, I mean, I know that the Matterhorn maybe came out, probably Rankin Bass came out earlier than the Matterhorn. I'm not sure. I believe Rankin Bass was late 60s. Matterhorn was late 60s too, I think. But those of you who are experts on the abominable snowman and the history of white fur and blue skin, send me a message, make a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you all have to say about it. But there's something about the white fur and the blue skin that makes me really happy. These three characters, Harold, he's nicknamed Harold, from the Matterhorn ride at Disneyland. Bumble, the abominable snowman from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stop motion animated film. And the Wampa, of course, from The Empire Strikes Back. All really cool examples of the Yeti or the abominable snow creature that I've been in love with since I was a kid. They all hit me at the same time. Now every time I see a toy or an action figure that carries that same aesthetic, the white fur paired with the blue skin or just the white fur, I get real excited. There's a Schleich abominable snowman that I've seen. There's a safari abominable snowman that I've seen. They're very cool. Back when Toys R Us was still here in California, they had those big sort of hollow rubber toys or action figures. And there was an abominable snowman, and he had white fur and blue skin, and there was a Bigfoot, and he had brown fur. And there's just something about it. I'm really kind of sad that this Beanie Baby doesn't have the blue skin. He's got a purple skin. Probably just a decision they made on their part in creating that. But we've been to Disneyland as a family a few times in recent years, and I've not seen a lot of Abominable Snowman Herald merchandise. They've redone the Matterhorn, but the vintage or the original Herald, Abominable Snowman from that ride, can be seen in the Guardians of the Galaxy ride over in California Adventure, which used to be Tower of Terror. There's if you're walking through the collector's archives, that's Benicio del Toro's character. There's a herald up on a shelf, and it's the original one. He's big, he's pretty obvious, and he's part of the collector's collection. Allison Troy, great to see you here. Fantastic to see you chiming in. And Bobby's saying Looney Tunes Abominable Snowman. Yeah, absolutely. So Bobby's saying that it probably started with the Looney Tunes Abominable Snowman. It'd be really interesting to see a chronology of this. I'm gonna do a little research. Maybe I'll have some answers for you all by the time the next episode of Toy Frenzy, now for this particular episode known as The Frenzy, airs this Thursday evening. And if you're here on my channel right now, just go over to that upcoming episode and click the bell notification so you can get notified when that episode pops up. That's Thursday evening, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's gonna be a fun discussion. So yeah, the Abominable Snowman from the Matterhorn, the Abominable Snowman from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer cartoon, and the Wampa from The Empire Strikes Back. Just beautiful creations. I'll be eternally grateful for those creations because it's always going to be something that I love. And these collectible versions of them are going to be part of my collection for the rest of my life, and I love them. Bobby says, I'll try to be there Thursday. You better be, Bobby. I'm excited that, Bobby's one of the co-hosts for Toy Frenzy, and so he'll be there, I'm sure. If not, there's probably a darn good reason. Yeah, so thank you all so much for watching. I want to send a huge thank you to all of you that are watching right now, all of you that chimed into the chat, whether you're watching now or not. If you're watching later, thanks so much for tuning in and watching. If you're watching, if you watch Toy Frenzy, thank you so much. If you're a patron of this channel, I really appreciate your patronage. The Patreon link for the Skelevator channel is right down below in the information underneath this video. If you have constructive criticism for me, please offer that in the comments below. I always appreciate that. Or if you just want to compliment me on my weird taste for appreciating these characters, you can add those comments down below. But be sure to do the YouTube things, folks. Click like and subscribe. Tell your friends about the Skelevator channel. I know these episodes are short, but I kind of love them that way. Just get in there, share the information, and get out, and then leave you all to enjoy your Sundays. Click like and subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel, and I'll see you in the next